The mid-90s were an interesting time for games. CD-ROMs had just hit computers, multimedia-rich games like Myst were selling decently, and nobody had any clear idea of what the future held for gaming. As a result, a lot of strange, experimental pseudo-games got made, and nothing exemplifies this quite like the 1995 PC game, The Dark Eye. The Dark Eye is an interactive collection of Edgar Allan Poe's work, rendered entirely in claymation marionettes. You heard me right, it's an Edgar Allan Poe puppet adventure game. You wander through a handful of short stories and poems, often playing the part of both the victim and the murderer. The game has very few traditional puzzles to speak of, to the point where the word game almost feels like a misnomer. The thing that elevates The Dark Eye from mere curiosity to noteworthy is that it prominently features the voice talent of William S Burroughs, famed author of Naked Lunch and Junkie. The game came out in 1995, and Burroughs died just a few short years later. While the game is plenty creepy on its own, the creepiest thing of all is Burroughs' reading of the poem Annabel Lee, the last complete poem ever written by Poe. In it, Poe laments the death of a long-lost love, taken in the prime of her youth.
I was a child and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee.
The reason it's so creepy is that before becoming an established writer, Burroughs shot and killed his wife Joan Vollmer in Mexico during a drunken game of William Tell. Burroughs beat the charge, but the event tormented him until his dying days and drove him to become the groundbreaking author that he was. It makes the reading of the poem that much more tragic.
Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea could ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee.
Like most adventure games, The Dark Eye has not aged gracefully. It plays like an Edgar Allan Poe story, 95% slow Victorian build-up, and 5% actual horror. But as a work of visual art, it has a lot going for it, including a cubist rendition of the Mask of the Red Death. Perhaps this game's greatest feat is that it even exists, that someone out there took a risk and made something so crazy and atypical, a work of art that has as a component one of the last great performances of a historically significant artist.
It's my fault, all my fault. I loved her as I've never loved.
Perhaps, if we're lucky, we can aspire to be just that crazy.